Alright guys, so today we're going to take a look at the brand new Padmate S30. Now this is kind of an unusual product for this channel, although this is a portable audio product to listen to music, so it kind of fits what we normally talk about. But this pair uses bone conducting technology. So this has always been something I've been interested in. I've checked out a lot of the Aftershock ones, I've checked out some off-brand ones, and Padmate is the company that makes the Pamu lineup of earbuds, and we've talked about a lot of their products in the past. So when they were coming out with these bone conducting earbuds, which have released as of today, it was something I was definitely interested in. Price-wise, they come in at $59, although they are using like a code to be able to use on their site, which will be in the description below. So you can actually pick these up for about 50 bucks. So price-wise, compared to a lot of the other ones, it actually comes in at a low price point. So that already intrigued me. So we're going to talk about the value that these have. We're going to talk about what all comes inside the box and see if it's worth that $59 to $50 price tag. So let's go ahead and start with who these type of products are for. I mean, mainly they're designed for people that are going to be using these while running or cycling, where you need to hear your environment because these do not go in your ear canal. They don't cover your ears. They're basically using technology where you're hearing music through vibration that it's sending basically kind of through your skull. It's just vibrating right around here. It is a completely different experience than listening to other type of products. It does take a little while to get used to because it is that much different. But once you do, you definitely can see the benefits to using this type of product. And I've found that other than using them at the gym or running or cycling or anything like that, it's very beneficial to use at home as well. I mean, I'm at home most of the time during the day by myself, so it's nice to be able to listen to music but still be able to hear if the doorbell rings or if somebody comes and knocks on the door or anything like that. Same thing if I wanted to use these in the living room. So if I had my laptop in front of me and I wanted to watch a movie or a TV show and I didn't want to bother or interrupt anything anybody else would have going on around me, I'm able to do that but still kind of feel like I'm a part of whatever's going on. It doesn't just like separate and pull me away from everything. So it definitely has some benefits other than just being used while working out. Now, as far as any of the technology that these have, they do have Bluetooth 5.0. They only have SBC and AAC playback, but this isn't one of those type of products that you would necessarily need aptX or aptX adaptive or anything like that. So it's not really going to affect the audio as much as it would a pair of earbuds or headphones. Obviously, you're going to want to use these outdoors, and this is one thing that's kind of confusing to me, and it's not just this company, because the IP rating on these are only IPX5, and I've found that most of the other ones out in the market just have that same IP rating. This is definitely a product to make completely waterproof, because you are going to want to use these in situations where it might just start pouring on you, or you might be running near the beach or the pool and it just happens to fall into the water, and so you really don't want to have to worry that you're going to mess up your headphones basically by using them outdoors when that's what they're intended to be used for. And then as far as what all they include inside the box, now obviously there's no ear tips included with these, but they do include ear plugs. Now this is going to start where these make these a little more versatile maybe in different situations, because if you did want to listen to these in a way where you didn't hear your surroundings, you can put your earplugs in and then it isolates all of the other sound, but because the bone conducting is sending vibrations through your skull, you're still able to hear your music. And honestly, the earplugs even add a whole lot more bass to the sound, but we'll talk about that a little bit more when we actually get to the sound of these. Now, as far as the charging cable that's included, it does come with a USB-C cable, and you do have to kind of pull back this little flap to be able to access the USB port. And I'm not a huge fan of this type of design because eventually that little flap is going to tear off or just get in the way. If they were to make these waterproof, I would understand the purpose of this flap. So honestly, I'm one of those that I'm probably just going to rip these off anyway. But again, it's kind of frustrating that they have this design and it really doesn't serve a purpose. But speaking of the charging, battery life is actually pretty decent because it says you're going to get around 8 hours just based off normal use. Now, if you just wanted to listen to these at max volume, you're going to get around 6 hours. And a huge plus with this pair is the standby time. If you just don't use them for a while, it has up to 150 hours just on standby time. So if you're not somebody that uses your earbuds or headphones every day. Let's say you go to the gym every other day or every 3 days or whatever. It's nice to know you're gonna pick these up and they're gonna have battery life because they're not just draining, quickly overnight or anything like that, like some of the other pairs that I've tested. But moving over to looking at the actual design of these, it is very flexible. It's just basically silicone and rubber and plastic. It's made to be flexible. It is very durable around the parts that are around your ears. And that is where your only single control is located. It's just one button that's back here behind your ear. Now this is your power button. This is the button for all of your functions, which sadly they don't give you volume control. So you're able to play, pause, skip your tracks forward. You can go backwards. You can answer phone calls. You can summon your smart assistant, but you can't control your volume. And that is very frustrating. I don't care what product it is. I just like to have all of my controls right there. And I don't want to have to pull out my phone, especially if I have my phone in a bag at the gym. I don't want to have to go over to it. And then maybe you don't want to talk to your smart assistant out loud to turn the volume up or down if you're in those environments either. So again, that is definitely something I wish they would have done differently. Now, as far as you guys that like to use your headphones and all for phone calls, I think they did a pretty decent job here with the mics. It's definitely not one of the best microphones that I've heard, but for something that you can use to answer while you're out running or cycling or anything like that, I think it's okay. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
All right, guys. So here is a mic test using the S30. Overall, again, I think it's pretty decent. It's not anything that's fantastic. But while you're out running, if you need to answer a call, this is what it would sound. And so now here is the mic test with the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound. And this is where it gets kind of hard to describe these because it really depends on the position that you have these on your head. I mean, you can angle them up the way the neckband kind of touches your neck and then it's further up on your head, or you can turn it where it's right here near your ear cartilage. And it definitely affects the audio quality. You get more bass the closer that it is to your ears. You also seem to get a little bit more clarity, and that's not because the audio is being directed into your ear canal, because this technology is just solely based off vibrations. I mean, you can see on here there is no speakers being directed in any direction. It's just a closed-in square. And so it's kind of weird at first, the first time that you use these. It's hard to compare these to earbuds or headphones because it's not that type of experience. So the best way to try to explain these is turned all the way up, the bass actually tickles. I mean, it's kind of weird to say that, but that's what it's doing. And it's because it's not your usual bass that you're hearing in earbuds. It can't really have like a tight feel or a loose type of feel, but I did find that it actually does complement the rest of the sound that you're listening to as long as you're not listening to metal. It just seems as though metal, where there's a lot of guitars and the double bass, the drums and singing and all that stuff, that's where these earbuds or headphones or whatever you want to call them get congested. And it's not just these, it's any bone conducting headphones that I've ever tested. They just don't handle metal well, but they do handle pop and hip hop and easy listening and country and everything like that extremely fine, because mids are definitely at a point where you have no issue hearing vocalists. If you're watching a movie, dialogue definitely stands out. The mids are not pushed forward. They're just not falling back unless you're listening to metal. And treble is also very interesting because I'm able to hear everything clearly, but it doesn't have that brightness or sharpness that a pair of headphones or earbuds would have. And I think that's because it's not being positioned where it's channeling right into your ear canal. You're feeling it through vibrations, so it's going to feel like it's a little subdued. And again, this is because of this type of technology. Really, my overall conclusion on this pair is I've loved using these. I've loved testing them because it's getting used to listening to music in a different kind of way. But I also like that it gives you the ability to listen to music where you may not normally be able to use headphones or earbuds. So yes, I definitely recommend these at the $50 or $59 price tag, where, you know, brands like Aftershokz have pairs that are 3 times the cost of these. So guys, that wraps up my video on the brand new Padmate S30s. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.